No, she's fallen on her Fannie since the very beginning. There's the headline for the But, no, truly, I mean, number one, this has completely been a disaster. It was a fake case to start with. Her arrogance, her demeanor has been incredibly telling. It's very much the typical coordinated, as we know, as you mentioned earlier in your show, with the Biden administration move. They have these state DAs, AGs coordinating to take down Trump. Well, she just took herself down.
If you are pumped that the Georgia Court of Appeals case has been not postponed for a week, postponed for 2 weeks, postponed indefinitely until they make a decision on whether or not Fannie Willis is corrupt, she is. If you think that this is a major victory for Donald Trump, which it is, comment Trump in the comment section. Blow that up right now. Hit that like button if you love this. Comment in the chat right now. Blow this thing up. All right, so let's read a little bit about what is going on here. So here we go. This was announced yesterday afternoon, by the way. The Georgia Court of Appeals officially put the racketeering case against former President Donald Trump case on hold. The appeals court ordered Judge Scott McAfee to pause all proceedings pending its coming ruling on the defendant's bid to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis from the case. McAfee previously allowed Willis to stay on the case despite finding a significant appearance of impropriety. What are you talking about? You did find it. She had a like a love daddy. What are you talking about? I love how they word it. A significant appearance of impropriety. What in the world? In her romantic relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade, who defendants allege she financially benefited from appointing. Well, no, duh. Didn't they go on like some romantic honeymoon or getaway with each other and things like that? The appeals court agreed to take up the matter in May. It will hear oral arguments on October 4th. Literally 30 days before the election now. All right, let's move on to the next thing here. What is this? Oh, okay. Take me to the actual. Here we go. So this is the actual deal here, and zoom all the way in for the audience too. So this is the Court of Appeals hereby passes the following order. Michael A. Roman versus the state. David J. Schaefer versus the state. Robert David Shealy versus the state. Mark Randall Meadows versus the state. Donald John Trump versus the state. Kathleen Latham versus the state. Rudolph William Louis Giuliani versus the state. Jeffrey Bossert Clark versus the state. And Harrison Floyd versus the state. Harrison, praying for you, buddy. He's a good friend of mine. The proceedings below in the Superior Court of Fulton County are hereby stayed pending the outcome of these appeals. See whatever the court reference is for it. Order staying underlying proceedings in a criminal case after granting Anybody want to take a guess what that word is?
Interlocutory.
Yeah, whatever.
Interlocutory.
And is overruled on the grounds by Duke versus State 306 Georgia 171. In other words, it is postponed indefinitely.
And everything I'm hearing is it's not going to see the light of day.
No, they're going to bury this thing as quick as possible, man. This chick is corrupt. Georgia Court of Appeals, even CNN's got to admit it, indefinitely pauses the election subversion conspiracy case against Donald Trump, because there is no conspiracy case, and every single one of these prosecutors, judges, every one of them, the DAs, they're all corrupt, horrific human beings that have nothing on Donald Trump. They're liars, they're swindlers, and they're doing everything to pervert our justice system, to go after who should be, and in my prayer, will be the 47th president of the United States. Georgia. Get your stuff together, man, because your state is sucking. It just is. And this is a huge win in the right direction for the love of everything. Will you elect some Republican senators this time around? Will you do something in the right thing? I hate your football team already. Stop making me hate your state more.
Wait a minute.
Stop.
You're a Braves fan.
Braves fan.
With the exception of the Braves. Okay.
And there was something else really good that came out of Georgia.
I love Asher Marie, and she came out.
Oh.
Yeah, she was born in Georgia.
She was born in Georgia.
But it's still
yes, Georgia sucks.
The thing that Georgia, no, a baseball team, and the fact that she lived, Asher Marie was there for a total of 5 days before she came to South Carolina. No. Georgia is on my mind for all the wrong reasons. Just stop it. As my drill sergeant used to say, just stop sucking. Stop.
Can I just
Stop.
say that I love like real justice is being served with her. She's the same one, lest we forget, who took grant money from the children and bought like cell phones and all kinds of other stuff with it. So she's a horrible human being who got fame from this case, and now she's getting fame in the wrong reasons for her, and I love it.
Hey, man.
Love when justice is served.
Again, this is a huge win for the Trump campaign.
It is.
Because what it means, again, is New York may be so corrupt that we couldn't stop that, but all these other things, man, in Georgia and whatnot, like this is going to be complete vindication when it's all said and done.
We hope. We hope.
If there is any good left in this country, and I'm just being honest. I mean, Todd's right. Well, I mean, we're on the brink of, if there is any good left at all in this, justice will prevail, and vindication.
Question
will
for you guys.
prevail.
Good
Before
old
you guys
American
move on
justice.
Here. Do you think they're doing this because we all know they were getting fed information from the White House? Fannie was. Do we think they're doing this because the Biden administration said, well, we got him in New York, so, we know the jig is up over here. Let's let that go. And,
I think she totally was the fall girl.
Yeah, you
I
think
she
so?
thought they were going to protect her, and they didn't. And
Yeah.
she didn't have as much support as she might have thought she did. So they threw her under the bus, and I love it.
did. Yep.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I do think Todd's going to get us sued by having all the Boston Celtics logos in the background here at some point. Todd's a walking billboard for sports teams. We got Alabama, which that one's okay. We got Boston Celtics on look, I mean, it's just.
It's hideous, honestly.
Hey,
I don't like the colors.
I have my Oregon Duck hat back there too. So
I'm wearing
What?
my state colors.
it's been up there
maroon.
forever.
I did not notice that, but that will be gone by the time.
No,
Monday-
it will be not.
I'm gonna replace it with the Mississippi State.
That will
It's like-
not be here by the
That is-
time
Todd's going to
Monday.
get
That
us sued
is-
for a Celtics logo. Oh, the Alabama hat's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Alabama hat is okay. Yes.
I would be-
It's the
the
NBA
first-
Finals, man. It's the
I will be the
finals.
first to admit that the Oregon Ducks are no threat to the SEC
Neither
at all.
is-
I have decided I'm going to watch the NBA Finals for Todd, and I'm going to pull for his Celtics because I could care less, so I might as well pull for his team. So,
I have decided I will not be watching that because I don't care.
okay. Either way, all right. We got a video. Let's play this video. This is Alina Habba's response to this Fannie Willis stuff, and of course, she does a great job. So let's watch this.
Legal spokeswoman for Trump, Alina Habba, joins me now in studio. Alina, I'm watching this unfold. This broke like right as we were coming on air. This woman is riddled with problems, and I'm not even a legal mind.
No, she's fallen on her Fanny since the very beginning. There's the headline for the But, no, truly, I mean, number one, this has completely been a disaster. It was a fake case to start with. Her arrogance, her demeanor has been incredibly telling. It's very much the typical coordinated, as we know, as you mentioned earlier in your show, with the Biden administration move. They have these state DAs, AGs coordinating to take down Trump. Well, she just took herself down in the most public display of chaos and disgrace, frankly. So I'm not surprised. The case will not go forward before November now. We do have a stay, which is great. Our team did amazing over there.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic, and I think they got all the evidence out, but like that judge works in the county that she works in, and he was up for re-election too, so I'm not saying anything, but I might be insinuating that there might have been some reason that he didn't eject her from the case. But and we were talking about this before. New York City Police Department, they are revoking, now that Donald Trump is convicted as a felon, they're revoking his pistol permit, which I think is a total stunt to throw egg in his face. What say you?
Yeah, I think that all of this is a PR stunt. They try and knock him down. They call up witnesses in trials that are irrelevant to have a good headline, to have a distraction. We've seen it time and time again, and I love the police. I know you do. We love our armed men and women that sacrifice for this country, and I don't blame them. They have to follow protocol. But what the problem is why did we get here? Why did we get to a point where a former president and the likely future president has now been admonished, has now been put in this trial that was a sham for something that nobody else has ever been.
Pause. So we were going to talk about this a little later on in the show, but since they went ahead and brought it up, the New York Police Department is going to revoke Donald Trump's ability to have a gun, revoke his Second Amendment rights in that regard, because he is a convicted felon now in this regard. Comment below if you believe that this was also part of the plan the entire time. See, now that we've gone from innocent until proven guilty, Todd, and I want to hear your thoughts on this in just a second. Now that we've gone from innocent until proven guilty to show me the man, I'll show you the crime, this was the plan the entire time. And this is the plan moving forward. You can see the outline moving forward of any voice that will go to challenge the status quo moving forward. They will find a way to make you guilty of something. They will find a way to take your money away, and then they will find a way to put you in prison and or take your guns away, because an unarmed society is conquerable by the government. Todd, what do you think?
Out of everything that Donald Trump is going through right now, this is the least thing I care about. The man does not need a gun. He's surrounded by 10 people that are carrying a bigger gun that he can fit under that jacket anyway. Like,
It's not.
I understand.
Well,
it's not
yes,
the point,
it's
principle.
not about Trump. It's
it.
about the precedent that has now been set. Because if they can do this to
like
a former president, and even if he wasn't a president, Donald Trump in general, of course they can do it to two vets with PTSD and all this other kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course, but I mean,
the precedent has been set.
I think of everything that we are hanging our hat on, this needs to be the lesser of, because simply, it's like we said a week ago, like if he gets elected in November, he can just pardon himself and go get his gun back and wave it in front of the Rose Garden and go,
I do a 21 gun salute from the White House front. Kick out.
I'd come out looking like the Hitman video game.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all?
I heard it said really well that, if you look at it, they're very strategic and everything has a play. So this is just another play. And I also have heard from several sources, they do think he might be going to jail, but it would only be for like a day, just so when everything comes around, they can say, he can't have a gun. He went to jail. He has been in jail. He's a convicted felon. So again, everything is just a PR play. I do agree with that.
All he needs to do is give up his citizenship, cross the border over,
That's right.
and he can get himself a gun.
Tony, you can hook him up with the right person, right? You can hook him up with the, what do you call him? A coyote.
Call me President Trump. I'll get you in and out. And
he needs to identify as a Chinese Mexican, and I'm serious.
You got
like,
one of those in your
he
back
can,
pocket?
a Chinese
Call
Mexican
Tony.
female, and then come across the border illegally and say that Pedro, who also is 27 years old, is his infant son, and they both need a paid-for cell phone, a $10,000 prepaid credit card, free health care. They need hotels in New York City, and they need guns.
He can stay in his own hotel.
And they'll probably wipe his record clean.
Amnesty. Amnesty.
Exactly.
Grant him amnesty.
Well, so here's a question you have to ask. I mean, what's Hunter Biden in trial for right now is buying a gun on drugs because he lied on the application.
And
so
watch, and nothing will happen.
Exactly. Not guilty. Here you go, Hunter. Here's your gun back. But Donald, you can't have one.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna see, because this is a banana republic, and the statue, the Lady Justice or whatever, with her little mask on. This is the liberal side. This is the conservative side, and right now, it's like this. Like, I'm sorry,
It'll be interesting to see though, because I've heard it said I've heard it that he may actually they take his gun away, but then Biden steps in, because there's got to be some play where Biden steps down and where they bring somebody else on. And I'm still sticking to that. I don't think it's going to be Biden, and they have to have some play to get him out. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
That's a good question for the chat. Do you still believe that Joe Biden is going to be on the ballot in November. And we're going to get into some reasons why that may not be so here in a little bit later on in the show. But comment in the chat right now. Do you believe that Biden is going to be on the ballot in November? I'm curious what you think. But we do have Merrick Garland in his infinite knowledge that, America's better for him being alive. This is what he has to say. Democrats say it's a conspiracy theory to suggest Biden's DOJ is coordinating an unprecedented lawfare assault against President Trump. So here's Merrick Garland proving the DOJ did not collude with Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis, and Letitia James. Here we go.
General, you've told us that it's a dangerous conspiracy theory to allege that the Department of Justice is communicating with these state and local prosecutions against Trump. You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all correspondence between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fannie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and we provide those communications?
If you make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing. You come in here and you lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request, and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about. Now,
Get him, Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Get him.
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, it looks just like again, yes, it's deflection. Merrick Garland is trying to say, well, those are independent organizations, so we can't hand over their records. Matt Gaetz is like, yeah, I know, idiot. I'm saying, will you, a federal organization, hand over your correspondence, even if you don't show their answers back? Will you show your correspondence? And he says, no, I will not. Or he just keeps deflecting over and over and over again, which is no shock to anyone.
Guilty dog barks.